Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Between the Seams with Big City Volleyball, New York City's #1 source for everything volleyball. I'm your host, Mikayla Cooper, and today I'm joined with a very special guest, Haleigh Washington here.
What's
How are
up?
you?
Hi, guys.
Thank you for joining our podcast today. We're super excited to have you and chat a little bit. We had an amazing time at our Love Big City Volleyball Pro Academy back in July at NYU. We had 160 players filling the gym all night. So, what was your impression of that event and how did you enjoy it?
First of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm so stoked to be here. The camps that we did in NYU were absolutely incredible. It was jam-packed. I heard that people were on a long wait list. I was so amazed and impressed by the turnout. I've always known that the volleyball community is so tight-knit, but I always assume it's in the pockets where you hear about volleyball. So California, Texas. So it was so cool kind of coming out to the East Coast and being especially in New York City and seeing the volleyball community it's flourishing out there. It was so cool. It's so amazing. And it's an awesome opportunity. And a lot of ballers. There's some good volleyball players out there. It was amazing.
Yeah, we had a wait list of over 500 players and the event sold out in under 2 hours.
We gotta come back, clearly, is what I'm hearing, is we need to come back to New York and do more of this.
That's exactly what we need to do. I think the people need it. Those numbers, when you hear those numbers of, 500 people on the wait list, it's selling out in 2 hours. Are you surprised at how many players just want to get out on the court and meet you and play with love and grow the game of volleyball?
On the one hand, yes, I never think that I'm that big of a deal. But it doesn't shock me that everybody was eager to kind of get out there and get to work and just get good touches and good reps and kind of train at the highest level that we could create. Because I think that that's kind of what's at the heart of volleyball players. I have never met a volleyball player who's passionate about it, who doesn't want to work hard. There's always the people that just kind of play volleyball for fun, which I also love. It's good to get out there. It's good to have a lot of fun, but every time I go to a camp or I find myself involved with a college clinic or in this space, for example, it's just, I'm not surprised at all that people are so hungry to get better, because I feel like that's just how volleyball players kind of operate. We're always hungry to be the best players that we can be. Maybe that sounds a little cocky. No tea, no shade to any other sport, but I'm just saying volleyball players got that dog in them.
So true, for sure. And I think a lot of our players definitely embody that, and you had a chance to see that on the court. I think I heard a little bit about you maybe not having as much experience coaching adult players. So,
Yeah.
what was that like, and how is that different from coaching youth players?
Yeah, I have only ever worked with clinics, and I think this is pretty typical, is you find that in clinics it's youth players. It's as young as 7, 8, 9 that you're coaching, all the way up until high school, because then people go to college and you really don't get to interact with a ton of college players. And then if you're interacting with professional players or other grown-ups, I wouldn't necessarily call myself a grown-up, but other professional players that are adults, it's as peers. So it was a really interesting dynamic to work at a camp where it was people that were older than me and had more experience in life. And then I was hey, just fix your footwork. It felt so weird to be coaching them, because I was you are so much smarter than me and you know so much more about life. And I'm just telling you to get your elbow up. I feel so dumb. But what was really cool was the adult players were so receptive to feedback, and the adult players were also so hungry to get touches. So I found that at the camp, I was almost having to think a little bit more on my feet for, okay, how can we format these drills so we can get these players more touches? When you have little kids, they don't know any better. They're just kind of la, 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 la. So if they're standing in a longer line, which I still don't love, I don't love long lines at volleyball camps. But if you're a younger kid, you don't really know what's going on. You're chatting with your friends. You're having a good time. But the grown-ups were I need to get more touches. I'm off for too long. I want to get back out on the court. And so it was this fun challenge of being okay, how can we get more turnovers so people can get more touches and get out on the court faster? So that was really awesome. Just the hunger out of the adult players and this want to get better. So it was I would give them feedback and I'd be ready to get yelled at. But they were all oh no, okay, yeah, I'll try that. Thank you. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's great to hear. We got overwhelmingly positive feedback from all of our players, and we're still hearing the chatter from it. The buzz is definitely in the air at Big City Volleyball programs across the city. So everybody had an amazing time, and thank you again for being a part of it.
Heck yeah. Thank you guys so much for having us. It was amazing.
Yeah, we have some questions from our players from the event that we're going to feature here, and you can respond, give some answers to these hard-hitting questions that our players are just dying to know.
Heck yeah.
Hi, my name is Malia. I have a question for the athletes, and my question is, what was the hardest thing about transitioning into pro volleyball?
Ooh, that is a great question. First of all, hi Malia, thank you for your question. I think for me, the hardest part about transitioning into pro volleyball, I mean, it was different because back when I first started playing pro, there were no American leagues. So if you were going to play professionally, you had to go overseas. So there was a huge culture shock that kind of hit me when I went and played volleyball in Italy. Like, one, you're playing volleyball in not your language. So I was playing volleyball entirely in Italian, especially because I went to a kind of a lower level team. I was just post surgery, so I was just trying to get my foot in the door anywhere that I could. So I played on an A2 team in Italy, and there was no English to be had, very few resources because it's kind of the second series in Italy. And so that culture shock was really hard. Like being alone, isolated, I didn't have any friends, I didn't know anyone. I was halfway around the world for my family. I was still kind of recovering from surgery and trying to feel like myself again. And so the transition was a little clunky, but once you kind of figure out the rhythm and you figure out how the professional world operates, it gets a lot easier. So it was really cool when you would find other Americans and you always go up to them and you say, "Hey, how you doing? How you holding up?" And there was always the resounding agreement of like, "This is hard. We're doing a very difficult thing." But overall, the transition was, I think, exactly what it needed to be. I think it was difficult so I could grow and rise to the occasion, and I could accept that, okay, this wasn't going to be easy, but I can work towards it and make it as easy as possible for myself. I hope that answers your question, Malia. Thank you for asking, you little cutie bean. Oh my gosh.
I think that was a great answer. And of course, like just like you're saying, there's a learning curve with anything.
For sure.
And, the best growth comes out of challenging yourself.
Definitely. Like, we don't grow by staying stagnant. You can only grow by moving forward and doing the difficult things. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Heck yeah.
Great. Let's move to our next question.
Hey, who's the next cutie pie? This is so fun.
Hi, my name's Leanne, and I have a question for the pros. My question is, when you're growing up, who were your volleyball role models?
I love that question. Hi, Leanne. Thank you so much for asking. So actually, I grew up in a really rural town in Colorado. So I grew up small town, Idaho Springs, Colorado. My high school had a graduating class of like 50 kids. And so sports really weren't that big in my world when I was growing up. So I really didn't even watch or follow much volleyball really until well into college. And even then, I was just watching NCAA players. So I didn't really have a lot of volleyball role models growing up, which I really regret. Like, I really wish I would have had known or had like more of an awareness of pro volleyball and that whole pro scene, which I think it's really cool that we now have pro volleyball in the United States, so it's more accessible to athletes. But when I first started playing professional volleyball, I was in the world and I was like, okay, I need to know who the best of the best are. So I started watching other middle blockers just from the Olympic team. So Faluka Akinradawo, Krista Harmato, who was the captain at the Olympic Games in 2012. I would watch their games before we played and like just use their energy to kind of like inspire me to be the best that I could be. And if I was struggling on like hitting a slide, I would watch Faluka because Faluka was really good on the slide, and just her being so successful got me motivated and got me excited. So when I was younger, I regret to say I really didn't follow much volleyball because I didn't even know that it was out there. But when I was older, I started to really get into like the Olympic Games scene. So I would encourage you, young, cute, sweet Leanne, or anybody else watching, follow the pros. Like, we have so many great pro teams in the United States now, and even overseas. There are incredible international players: Zhu Ting, Carol Andy Silva, Asha Wolosh, like all of these great players that you can find internationally, and then great players in the United States: Justine Wong-Orantes, Jordan Thompson, Chiako Bagu.
Hi, my name is Tristan. I have a question to all the athletes. Was there ever a time where you didn't think you were going to make it to the top, and how did you overcome it?
He's so cute. I actually remember meeting Tristan and his sister at this camp. It was so sweet. She was such a big sister to him, like kind of just being like, "Oh, stand over there so we can take this picture." It was so sweet. They were adorable. But Tristan, great question. There were lots of moments where I was in the thick of it. So when I was first thinking of going pro, the first time anybody brought it up to me was my sophomore year of college. And I remember I was really struggling with a lot of knee pain. I was about to have my first surgery, and some of my teammates were like, Haleigh, would you ever go pro? And I was like, nah, dude, my knees aren't going to hold up long enough to get me into pro. I'm barely going to get to my senior year. No way. And at the time, it was just kind of a joke. But there was a part of me that genuinely believed, like, I don't think I'm healthy enough to go play professionally or go play overseas. Like, it's never going to happen. And then again, my senior year, there was a woman who always volunteered to help out at the games or worked at Rec Hall. And she was like, are you going to try to do USA or go play pro or anything? And I was like, well, I'm talking to an agent about going to play pro, but definitely not USA. Like, I'm not a good enough blocker. I'm not really good at attacking in front of the setter. So I don't think that they don't need me on the USA team. There are better players out there. But it got planted in the back of my mind of like, oh, maybe I could do USA. I mean, I said I wasn't going to go pro, and now I have the opportunity to go pro. So, you know what? If the USA thing happens, I'll give it a try. I'll say yes. I'll say yes to everything. And then once I had graduated, that was kind of my mantra for my whole volleyball career was I'm going to say yes to everything. If an opportunity presents itself and it seems like I'm moving in a forward-facing direction, it's not setting me back, I'm going to say yes to it. And so I said yes when I got the opportunity to go play in the USA gym. I said yes when I got the opportunity to train with the senior team my second year in the USA gym. I said yes to continuing my career overseas in Italy and to like continue growing and stuff. So it was a process. And there were lots of moments, especially after the Tokyo Olympics before Paris, where my say yes mantras kind of started to flutter. Like I was like, do I want to go for Paris? Do I want to do this? Do I have what it takes? But again, I held true to that. Okay, I'm just going to say yes. And so I think that when faced with that adversity or that doubt of, can I do this? Can I play overseas? Can I be an Olympian? Can I do the professional thing? It was easier to just be like, why not? Like, yes, I'm going to go for it. Because worst case scenario, I try and I come up short. And it's better to at least have taken my shot than to not have tried at all. So I think that kind of answers this question. Does that sound okay, Mikayla? What do you think?
Yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah, exactly. That mantra, that ideology. Also, if you see a pink shirt pacing back and forth between here, I'm sorry, it's my little sister. She's home. I'm in our living room, so I'm really sorry.
That's great. Bring her on.
Yes, we'll bring her on for the next question. I love it.
Perfect.
Okay, sorry.
No, I think that's a great answer to that question. Thank you, Tristan, for that question.
Yeah, thanks, Tristan.
Hi, my name's Kevin.
Hi, my name's Lizelle.
And we have a question for the pros. What's your favorite pregame meal?
And what's your favorite hype song?
Ooh, those are great. I love that. Oh, they're so sweet. I remember meeting them too. They got our autograph. I mean, everybody got our autographs, but I do remember meeting them. So my favorite pregame meal. So I like to eat carbs before I play because I burn through them really quickly. Like I burn through a lot of carbs during a match, and so I need a lot of energy. So my favorite pregame meal is actually a pretty staple meal that we would have when we were in Italy. So you get like just a plate of white rice, about half a cup of white rice, and you put olive oil on it, salt, and a little bit of really good Parmesan. It's almost like a poor man's risotto, except without the risotto base. And you just put that Parmesan on, and that like salty, cheesy rice. Oh, so good. It is like my favorite meal. And I can't replicate it here in the States because our Parmesan just isn't as good. But that with a little bit of sauteed spinach, zucchini, vegetables, a salad, and then some. In Italy, if I hadn't had it that week, I'd have this thing called bresaola, which is like a very thinly cut piece of meat with more Parmesan and some arugula and then olive oil. And it was just very lean meat, very clean. But again, it's hard to find bresaola in the States, so I usually do like a chicken. So just like a good protein to kind of match with the carbohydrates so I feel really fueled and ready to go. So that's my favorite pregame meal because it makes me feel the most like healthy, the most light. It's easy for my body to digest. I'm getting the vitamins and minerals that I need from my vegetables and my salad, but I'm also really enjoying that rice. It's so bomb. And then my favorite hype song, that's hard because like it changes because I go through different phases. So when I was in college, I really liked to be my senior year. I was pretty chill before I would listen to like go into games. So I would listen to like the song called Penelope. And it was just a really calm song and it kind of helped me get centered and zen so I could go out and be as crazy and high energy as I am. And then when I started playing pro and being in the USA gym, I started to get into like more hype music. My last 2 years overseas, I was really into like heavy house, EDM, almost like in some screamo music, like Pierce the Veil. I'm such a wannabe scene kid, but like it changes. This year, my go-to hype song is Nokia by Drake. Saint Chroma by Tyler the Creator, and there was one more. Oh, 30 for 30 by SZA and Kendrick Lamar. Those 3 songs are my go-to hype songs this year. But yeah, they change, they evolve. It depends on what my mood needs.
Yeah, those are great songs. So you kind of like operate across all genres.
Yeah. At one point, I was really into classical music. So there's this song called Romeo and Juliet by the Russian composer, I think, Prokofiev or something like that. And it's heavy. It goes so hard, and I loved it. So I was really into classical music for a little bit.
Wow, I don't think people would expect that.
I keep people on their toes. That's what I do.
Love it. Sometimes we need a little bit of that.
Heck yeah.
Hi, my name is Abigail, and my question for the pros is, did they struggle when they were younger?
She's so cute. First of all, Abigail, love the hair. Keep rocking those curls, girl. We got to keep that natural look going. You're adorable. But did we struggle when we were younger? Obviously, yeah. Like, I think one of my favorite things that I have learned and like reflected on throughout my career is I've had a lot of success. Like, I've been really lucky. People will read off my resume and they've been like, oh, you're an Olympian. You won a national championship. You want to, like, they go through all of the success that I've had. And I'm always like, yeah, those are really great. But more importantly, I've gotten my butt whooped way more than I have had success and been like a winner. Like, my very first club season ever, I played for a Clear Creek Volleyball Club, which was a super small volleyball club in my old hometown of Clear Creek County. And I think there were 9 girls on the team. And we lost all the time. Like, don't get me wrong, we won a couple games, but for the most part, we were not really like ever winning powers or like making it to playoffs of the major tournaments. Like, we struggled a lot, but it wasn't always about, like, I reframed it. My dad actually taught me that you should reframe a loss and like reframe a loss into a lesson. And so every time that I would struggle or was frustrated that my team was losing or frustrated about my poor performance, like, rather than pout about it, my dad would be like, okay, how can we get better? What can we learn? What do you need? Do you want to get more reps? Do you need to go to practice earlier? Okay, so it's a teammate that's bothering you or that's causing all the errors. You can't control that, but you can work on lifting them up. Like, how can you be a better teammate? And so when I was younger, those struggles really became more like lessons. And I took that belief and really fed it into the rest of my career. So it became, even at these last Olympic Games, we lost to China in a 5-set match, first game of the tournament. And it wasn't so much like, oh, we lost, darn. It was like, okay, what can we learn? How can we get better? How can we continue to evolve? And so I think, like, of course I struggled when I was younger, but I didn't want to let those struggles kind of define me. I wanted to see how I could learn and grow from them. Thanks, Abigail. Sorry. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Emily Cito, and my question is, if you could play any other position, what position would you play?
I love this question. Thank you so much for asking it. I would love to be a libero. God, I would just... Jay's job looks so cool. I would love to be the position that, like, someone thinks they're bouncing a ball, and then she just, quick as a wink, dives in and pops that ball up. Or, like, there's those crazy pursuit plays where you'll see Jay just pumping her little arms. She's sprinting back there and then just lays out and pops it back in. It's so sick. I want to be a libero so bad. But it's not in the cards for me. I'm not fast. I am not fast twitch. I am not good at defense. There's nothing I can do. It's not in the cards for me. But I would love to be a libero. However, if I wanted to make money, I would love to be a really good right side. Good opposites make really good money. And so I would love to be a good opposite, make more money. But yeah, I think those are my answers. Libero or oppo. Although I love being a middle, so I wouldn't change.
Yeah, middle, hardest position on the floor, I'd say.
Hardest position on the court. We work the hardest. We do the most. We move the most.
And for the least amount of credit.
For the least amount of credit and glory, and nobody likes us. It's always our fault. We always did something wrong. Don't get me wrong, setters also have it pretty rough. Like, I've never in my life, in my career, had to run from right front to left back because someone passed the ball poorly. But I have had to go left and then right and then transition and then go left again and then not get set and then we go again. And I've done that loads. So, middle's hard.
Definitely. That's a good answer for sure.
Hi, my name is Sydney, and I have a question for the pros. What's the most embarrassing volleyball moment that you've been a part of?
I love that. Hi, Sydney. Thank you for the question. I have loads of those. I think the most embarrassing moment was when I was playing pro overseas in Italy. There were 2 moments in the same season, too. It was just a bad season for me. It just wasn't a season of embarrassment. But there was one where I was bouncing the ball before I served. And it did the thing that all volleyball players know the ball does. It hits the front of your toe and shoots out forward. And the ref had blown the whistle for us to serve. And so I had done that. It popped off my toe. And I was like, fuck. So I was waiting for the ref to be like, replay. But the ref just kept looking at me like, what are you doing, dummy? So I had to sprint, grab the ball, sprint back to the service line, and pop it over. And it was just very embarrassing because it was in front of like 6,000 fans and on the television. And everybody saw it, and the league Instagram actually made a clip of like me chasing after it to the chicken dance. It was very embarrassing. I was pissed. I was like, screw you guys. I did this really embarrassing thing, and now you're just making it worse. But I realized I think that's just Italian humor. Like, they just naturally are they like to poke fun and tease. Like, that's just Italians being Italian. So I got over it. And then the second thing that season was I was in the middle of a rally, and I was playing defense, I think. I think I was in the back row. But I was digging a ball, and I went to, like, step, and my shoe came off my foot, and then my shoe was just in the middle of the court. And I kept trying to grab it to throw it out, but I kept missing the shoe. So then eventually Micah just grabbed it, my setter, and she chucked it to our head coach, and our head coach caught it. And then I had to, in shame, walk off and get my shoe, put my shoe back on. And so they made another Instagram clip of that. So yeah, 2 pretty embarrassing moments. It happens. It's volleyball. What are you going to do?
Hey, but they made for great content, it sounds like.
They did. Yeah, the Instagrams did go crazy about them. So yeah. Oh, and then any photo of me taken ever is also just so embarrassing because I have the trademark turtle face. Haleigh Washington turtle face, trademark TM. It's a real thing. But I always go like this anytime I do anything, and it is so not cute. Like Lauren Carlini, when she plays volleyball, she's all like literally Zoolander blue steel looking all cute and fresh, and I just look like a turtle. And so that's also embarrassing. So there's loads. Long list there, Sydney. Long list of things that I do that embarrass me when I play volleyball. It's a good time.
If someone were to show you a blooper reel of yourself at the end of every season, would you want to see that? Or are you like, no, don't show it to me?
I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't have the security in myself enough to watch a blooper reel. If it was funny stuff, no, I couldn't do it. I'd hate myself so much for being that. I'd just be like, no, shut it off. I don't want to see it. I have to live with myself every day. I don't need to see the proof that I'm as bad as I think I am. No, thank you.
Well, you gotta fake it till you make it a little bit.
Oh, well, yeah. Like, and the thing is, like, I do all kinds of stuff to embarrass myself, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate myself, blah, 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 blah. But I also, like, I love that my personality is so big and loud and bold, and, like, I love that I do these embarrassing things that, frankly, can make other people cringe. Because it's me being authentically myself. And it took me, like, a really long time to get to this point of being like, hey, this is just who you are. Like that, and that's awesome. Because when you can authentically be yourself, it lets other people authentically be themselves. Like, I think Justine and I have a great dynamic because I'm very loud and bold and doing embarrassing things and like cha-cha-cha, jazz hands. And Jay is just like so chill and steady, but riffs with me and is funny. And so we just balance each other out. And I think that's what authenticity does, is it lets other people be authentic with you. So it's a good setup.
Yeah. and it opens up opportunity for other players and other people just to be kind of more comfortable.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know? Like, you are in a way like providing that safe space to people because they see you being unapologetically yourself and completely authentic, and they're like, okay, you know, if Haleigh is this cool pro athlete, like I can be like that, you know, like let me push myself to come out of my shell a little bit.
Exactly.
Or that.
There's this really great quote by the author Marianne Williamson. She's actually quoted in the incredible sports flick Coach Carter. But the line is that when we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. And that's kind of like just a theory that I've always had in life is like, if I can let my own light shine out, like it automatically gives people the space to be like, oh, I can do that too, which I think it's really powerful.
Yeah, I think this is a good time too. I wanted to say congratulations to you for being named the 2025 Love Woman of the Year.
Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I was so flattered. Like, I mean, I'm very flattered, very honored, very blessed. But it's not what I was like. I wasn't trying to earn that award. Like, love this idea of having this new pro league is kind of bigger than me and like really anybody else. And so it was really flattering to get this award, and I feel very blessed. But it's also like this was such a the fact that we got this pulled off is so much cooler than me winning this award. Like, we had been talking about this idea for so long, and the people behind the scenes had been workshopping it for so long that to see it come into fruition was reward enough. So I was super flattered, but there's also a reality check side of things where I was like, this is so much bigger than me. It's not about me at all. But thank you. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, not to diminish your compliment. I do take the compliment. Thank you very much, Mikayla. I appreciate you.
A huge accomplishment, an award that recognizes a professional athlete's impact on the next generation of players and the communities around them. So it's no secret that you are known for your energy, your positivity, your infectious personality. At our Pro Academy in July, you know, that was on full display. You were running around with the mini mic, you know, your voice was loud and projecting throughout the gym, and everyone was just having a good time being around you and working alongside you. You seem to be everyone's biggest cheerleader. So has that always come naturally to you? And what did that journey look like?
Yeah, I love this question. First of all, it definitely comes naturally, the being loud and obnoxious thing. Like, you always know the 12-year-old like class clown or the kid that's always talking or getting hushed by their teacher. Like, I was like that in first grade. I actually just coached a camp in my old hometown in Colorado, and my first grade teacher was there, Miss Jane Coffin, and she was giving me a hard time because she was like, "You were always talking in my class and always so high energy, but I see now it was just who you needed to be on the volleyball court." And I was like, "Thank you, Miss Coffin." Like, she was so funny. But it really is like, I've always been just a very loud, effervescent kind of person. And like, frankly, kind of an attention grabber. Like, I remember being a little kid and I would always put on shows for my parents. Like, you know, you force your parents to sit on the couch and you do like a ballet performance or whatever, you know, that kind of stuff is what it was my bread and butter. But it took a while for me to kind of accept that I am who I am, and that's going to sometimes rub people the wrong way. So that was the hardest part of kind of being happy-go-lucky, loud, obnoxious, a constant talker, especially in the USA gym. Like, my first couple of years in the USA gym and working with the senior players when I was kind of a rookie, like, I remember being told to be quiet a lot, which is 100% the right thing to be told at that age. Like, I'm coming in fresh off the boat. I don't know anything. And here I am trying to give feedback and be like, oh, hey, we should maybe try this or we should do this. And our senior players who know the competition, who know the environment, they're also trying to give feedback. And I'm just adding too much, kind of too many cooks in the kitchen sort of thing. And so I remember being told to just like shut up. And I was like, ouch. But it was a good lesson because there's a time and a place to give feedback. and I needed to learn a little bit more and get a little bit more experience under my belt. And then if I did want to provide feedback, kind of wait for more like one-on-one situations. It also gives our captain the opportunity to lead, so like our floor captain, whatever they say, like we have their back. We nominated them to be the captain, so let them kind of take over and do their thing. So that was kind of a learning curve, was learning when to speak, how to speak, what to say, but still be my same authentic self. So still high energy, smacking butts, cracking jokes, doing whatever I could to keep it light. Like when we're in these big tense moments and it feels like the world is on your shoulders, I liked having the responsibility of like making a funny joke, and everybody kind of snapped out of it and was like, oh, yeah, this is just volleyball. We can do this. And then it kind of centers everybody out. And then I also remember being in the USA gym, and I had a senior player come up to me and just be like, I just really don't like who you are as a person. Like, they were just like, I just really don't vibe with your style of play and who you are. And I'm sure it wasn't that blunt. Like, obviously, a memory, when you remember something, you're remembering the last time you remembered it kind of thing. But that's how it's been cemented in my brain, is like it just went down in that kind of sense of that person just being like, yeah, I don't really like you. And I remember in the moment being rocked by that reality of like, damn.
Right.
But then after some time and like reflection, I was like, I think that's okay. And it was this light bulb moment that since then has influenced my whole life of like, not everybody has to like me. And that's an okay thing. Like, I'm not going to be rude to you. I'm not going to go out of my way to be a jerk or like go out of my way to really try to get you to like me. But I'm just going to keep being myself. And if you don't like me, I understand. That's fine. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But I'm not going to diminish myself so you can be more comfortable. Like, I'm not going to shrink who I am so you can just feel better about it. And that's not going to happen. And so it was definitely a learning curve, figuring out how to kind of be my most authentic self and still, like, I don't know, and give myself that permission, I guess. So yeah, it took some time, but I've always been loud and always a talker. That was like, what, 2.5 minutes of me answering that question? I tried to tell you at the start of this podcast, Mikayla, I'm a yapper, certified. You're gonna have to tell me to shut up. Ooh.
No, we love it. We love it. We want more of it.
Well, are there any more video questions?
Yeah, we have one more from a special guest.
Oh, the special guest.
You may recognize her.
My name is Kathy DeBoer. I'm the chair of the Love Foundation, and I want to know, what instrument would you play if you were a professional musician instead of a pro volleyball player?
Oh, Kathy, coming out swinging with a great question. First of all, I love Kathy, and I'm so stoked that she works with us with Love and at the Love Foundation. She is such a badass. She's such an incredible woman. So love that she's working with us, and I love this question. If I was a professional musician, not a pro volleyball player, I mean, there are so many cool instruments. I think it'd be really dope to be oh God, I can't narrow it down. Okay, so these are my options right now. I'm thinking violin, I'm thinking cello, I'm thinking piano, or I'm thinking saxophone or bass clarinet.
Going with the classical.
Yeah, yeah, of course. What, am I going to be a professional musician and get lost in the world of drugs, sex, and rock and roll? Never. My little heart could barely take it. Just kidding. But no, I like the classical vibe, and I think there's some dignity to it. So I think I'd go with violin. I think it'd be really cool to be like if I was my level in another field, to be like an Olympic caliber violinist. Cello is too big. It'd be a pain in the butt to haul around all the time, so I couldn't do that. Same with bass clarinet, very big, very bulky. Saxophone, constantly having chapped lips. I don't think I could do it. And piano, I don't think I could compete with the best and the best out there. Like, if I'm the same caliber that I am, I know there's better piano players out there. So I'm going with violin. I think I would. And I would want to do the thing where, you take your violin to like the subway station and you play it and nobody knows that you have your own like solo show that night. I would do that all the time if I was a pro violinist. I would just take my violin everywhere and just like bust it out.
I think we should make that happen. I think we should get a Love Big City Haleigh Washington violin pop-up somewhere in the subway.
Yeah, you know, you see those videos online when people go and they play really, really well in the park? Give me a violin and I'll go play really, really bad in like, people will just pay me to stop. They'll just be like, take this money to please stop playing the violin.
And they're like, well, have you ever thought about sports?
And I'd be like, you know what? That's a good idea. And then it cuts to me playing in 9-man.
Those are all of our video questions that we have.
Yay!
Thank you to Kathy for that last question. Yeah, Kathy was amazing to work with. So awesome to meet her. Very inspiring, her story and everything that she's done in the world of sports, women's sports. So an amazing inspirational figure as well. And I have a few more questions for you. I know you are a big reader.
Yes, I do love a good book. I love to sit down and read. Yeah.
So what's the best book you read recently? And I also want to know, do you have dreams of your own of writing one day? And what would that maybe be about?
Yeah. Wow. 2 really great questions. So books that I have read recently. So I've started reading this book. It's called Bowling Alone. My boyfriend actually gave it to me in January, and I didn't read it until really I started reading it like at the start of August is when I really started kind of kicking into it. It's a really good book. It's very depressing. Like, it is very depressing. It's about how we're losing this connection and this community in the United States specifically because we're no longer doing things like being a part of Rotary clubs or going to bowling events, going to like bowling leagues or playing softball leagues or like joining the PTA. Like, we've really gotten rid of those third spaces, kind of. Like, right now our lives are just work and home, and we really don't engage in other social spheres. And so it talks about that. And what's interesting is the book is like 30 years old. Like, this book was written in 1995. And so the premises have just continued to become like strengthened, like in the sense that we don't have these spaces to really go to. Like, people just aren't taking the time out of their day to go and engage with other people. So it talks about that. It talks about how we can get ourselves out of that and what we can do and kind of save ourselves. And I think it's good. I also think like this new generation of kind of adults, like young millennials, older Gen Zs, they're on their phones and like using their apps. Like, I know there's like a Meet Get Together or like Meet Me, which are all these places that you can go to meet friends, and you go and do sunrise yoga, or you go and you do like a spin class, or it's starting to get better because I think we've started to really recognize the loneliness epidemic that's kind of sweeping through America. So, little heavy topic there for you, but that's the book that I'm currently reading. It's really interesting, very depressing, but very good. And then I'm also like dabbling in some other books. Like my grandma gave me Cold Sassy Tree, and I read Novelist as a Vocation by Haruki Murakami. I just started a new horror book called Sleep Tight. Like, I love a good horror book every now and then, so I've started that. And then I was actually gifted The Long Walk by Stephen King from one of the grown-ups, one of the adults at the Big City clinic. It was really cool. She was the MC for serving pancakes, and so she brought me a book, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. So I got to read that. Thank you, Tiffany.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first book you mentioned is interesting. It's definitely very relevant. It's interesting that it was written in the 90s too, because from your description of it, it sounds like it could have been written right after COVID.
Literally.
You know, it's like come back around and this is what's going on now as well. Yeah,
it's really interesting. Oh, and then your second question. It is on my bucket list to write a book one day. The problem is, I'm very much like, what the heck would I write about? Because I feel like every athlete, every jock writes the book that's like my story to success. Like, even like Billie Jean King, whom I love, she wrote a book, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so sick. Like, Billie Jean King wrote a book. It's going to give me like her whole backstory, her history, the adversity that she faced. But really, it was just like top 10 ways to be the best version of yourself. And I was like, Billie Jean King, No, which I mean, she's so busy in her life. Like she probably didn't have time to write a book. She probably gave this advice to a ghostwriter. No tea, no shade, but she probably gave the advice to someone else and then they wrote the book for her. Because I was disappointed in the book, but maybe I need to give it a second chance. So then when I think about what I want to write, I'm like, what story, like what would I share? Like my life story? Would I just give advice? Would it be like a how to become an Olympian kind of step-by-step guide? Or should I just go the complete opposite direction and write some weird sci-fi fantasy tale about volleyball space fighters who beat up on aliens with their volleyball skills? I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen. But I do know that it's on my bucket list to write a book. So we'll see what happens.
Why stop at one, you know?
You're right. I should write multiple. I should write the self-help book. I should write the biography of how I got to where I am, and then I should write the Alien Space Invaders book with the volleyball fighting.
Exactly.
We've lost the plot. What am I even talking about?
No, I think you should write all of those, and I'll read all of them.
Oh, heck yeah.
All right, my next question is kind of a fun one. Brings into play one of the other athletes from Love that was at our Pro Academy event, Jordan Larson. Shout out Jordan. Shout out Justine too. But
no, we don't care about Jay.
No, we love Justine. But the question is, if you had to go head to head against Jordan Larson in a sport other than volleyball, what sport would you choose?
Not golf. Gov is a good golfer, so it's definitely not golf. I also couldn't do something like cornhole. Like, I fear she'd be good at cornhole. She's like a Nebraska girly now, so she's got that advantage on me. She might be good if I have to go against her head-to-head in any other sport. Maybe rock climbing. Like, something just so out there. And that my height could give me the advantage, but I got long levers. I'm not very good at rock climbing, so that puts me at a disadvantage as much as her. Okay, let me think something.
Speed climbing?
Say again?
Like speed climbing you're talking
Yeah, maybe
about?
speed climbing, where it's it's not quite bouldering, where I got to put myself in these weird angles and weird grip holds, but just how quickly can I fly up a mountain? But I got bad knees. Again, I don't necessarily know if that's the answer. What other sports are there? Ooh, you know what? Equestrian. I think I could. Wait, no. She grew up in Nebraska. She was in 4-H. She's good with animals. Okay, never mind. No. This is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. All right, free throw contest.
Basketball? You used to play basketball as a kid, didn't you?
I did, and I think Gov did too, but I think I got a little bit more of that still left in me. I think I could pull something off. Don't look at that. I would fully extend basketball players that also play volleyball.
Free throw contest. Okay.
Free throw contest.
All right. Maybe that'll happen one day.
God, I hope not.
So, my last question for you is a fun one. You are going to be building your perfect volleyball player with Love athletes. And I have 5 categories for you. So 5 different athletes. You can pick one athlete that has this quality for you to build out your perfect volleyball player. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. The first category is agility.
Agility. Speed and agility. I think agility-wise, I would pick probably Jay. Jay is so agile, and she's so quick and fast twitch. It's Jay, or maybe Kelsey, or maybe Lexi. Lexi Rodriguez, she's also really agile. But I think I'm gonna go with Jay. I think I'm gonna go. Wait, is IQ on here? Game IQ? Am I allowed to repeat players? Could I put? Okay, we're gonna put Jay.
I'll bend the rules a little bit for you.
No, okay. You don't have to tell me. You don't gotta tell me. We'll play fair. Jay for agility.
Okay, so we got Justine Wong for agility, and the next one is power.
Annie Drews. If we're talking about attacking, I want Annie Drews' shoulder. She hits hard, dude. I don't know what to tell you. She hits the crap out of the ball, so I want Annie Drews' arm.
That's a good one. The next one is court IQ.
Ooh, I knew it! I knew it was going to come up. I knew it was going to come up.
It's important. You got to have it.
Court IQ. I don't know, because again, there's so many players, and so I'm like, Jay really reads the court super duper well, but I already gave her agility. And then I would also say Gov, because Gov also has phenomenal game IQ. She's been in the game for a minute, but sometimes her IQ gets in the way because she thinks she's seeing something, and then it ends up going the wrong way, and then she's in the wrong spot. I mean, I don't know. That's just good reading, though. I think I'm going to go Gov. I'm going to go Gov for IQ.
Awesome. Okay, the next category is mental toughness.
Ooh, Micah Hancock. Going Micah Hancock for mental toughness. I think Micah is easily one of the most mentally strong, toughest, nicest kind. Like, she's so tough and, like, could rip your head off, but she's so sweet. She calls everybody Cutie Bean, and she's got this little cat. Like, I'm going to go with Micah Hancock for mental toughness. She's a baller.
And the last category is a little bit different. It's aura.
Oh.
That could be on or off the court, all encompassing. Just who has the aura that you want to build.
Aura. Okay, let me think through all the teams here. I got it. What is it? Aura farming? I'm currently aura farming.
Exactly.
Looking for who has the most aura on all the teams. I'm so hip, kids. I really like Tia Jimerson's aura, like with the little finger waggle and stuff. I think she's got good aura. I feel so wrong to say that. Like I'm not cool enough. But I think Tia Jimerson's got good aura with her little finger waggle. I think also Chiaka. I'm just pulling from the middles now. Clearly, middles have the most aura.
Middles have the best aura.
I think Chiaka, like off the court, she's just got such like a good vibe. Her fashion always looks so good. Ooh, or Cat Bell. Cat Bell also has hella aura. Dang, this is hard. I'm gonna cheat just this one time and do those three because I can't decide. No, I can't decide. Cat Bell. Okay, I'm going with Cat.
All right, final answer. All right. That's a pretty solid player.
That's a solid player. Cat Bell aura, Jay's agility, the IQ of Gov, the power of Annie, and the mental toughness of Mike. You're gonna have a tough time beating that player.
You're not beating that player.
Yeah, no.
That's a great answer. Thank you so much, Haleigh, for being on this episode of Between the Seams with Big City Volleyball. I want to give you an opportunity to shout out any cool things coming up for you, anything that you're doing, anything our players could kind of tune into or check you out.
Yeah. I think, so for starters, I'm on this new website called realcoach.net. So it's this really great website. There's a link in my bio on Instagram, and if you follow me on Snapchat, where you can go and sign up for like lessons essentially with me. And all you have to do is upload a video of whatever you're doing and be like, hey, could you watch my footwork here? Or hey, could you tell me how I can be better at attacking in front of the setter? And I can watch the video and then give you feedback like right away instantaneously. So it's this really cool virtual way that I can still reach out to players and give coaching advice. So I love it because I really want to I want to stay in the coaching game, but I also want to keep playing pro. So it kind of I get the best of both worlds. So realcoach.net, it's in my Instagram bio. Feel free to go check it out. And then also I will be in Chicago for the next couple of months, kind of doing my thing. So going to work at another Love Club, Shy City, on August 24th, this Sunday, actually. So super pumped about that. And yeah, just kind of getting back into the swing of things. When I was out at your guys' clinic, I was pretty fresh off the table of a knee surgery. So I'm trying to really strengthen my bones and my muscles right now so I can get back into volleyball shape by the time preseason comes around in November. So yeah, just going to be grinding, doing some clinics, and hopefully giving some feedback to a couple players here and there on Real Coach.
Awesome. Those sound like really cool, exciting things.
Yeah.
We are excited to continue our partnership between Big City Volleyball and Love and grow the sport of volleyball and just continue getting out there and getting after it, like you said.
Heck yeah.
So, thank you so much again for joining us on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun, and I can't wait to come out to New York for another clinic. That was amazing.
We can't wait to have you. We hope to have you back, and we hope to run more clinics and do even more next year and just provide more to our community and just play more volleyball.
Heck yeah. Can't wait. Let's get after it.